Good morning from the lush green landscapes of Tesia Camp in Harmoti, Assam. The forest is soaked in freshness, the kind that only early mornings in the wild can offer. And we are inviting you to the second part of our journey in this beautiful camp tucked into nature's lap. Before we dive into today's journey, here's a quick glimpse of what's coming up. Welcome back to another day in paradise. One of the first things that catches your eye here is this stunning painting of a silver-eared Tesia, created by the talented Nilim Mahanta, a renowned artist from Lakhimpur, Assam. And it's a lovely welcome into the camp. Let's give you a quick tour of the rooms. The rooms at Tesia Camp are simple and functional. This isn't a luxury stay, but you'll find everything you need. The basics are well taken care of, and most importantly, it's clean, neat, and thoughtfully maintained. After a long day out in the forest, this kind of calm comfort is all you really need. There are only 2 rooms here. One can accommodate 3 people and the other fits 2. So the camp can host a maximum of 5 guests at a time. It's clean, peaceful, and ideal for small birding groups or quiet nature retreats. It rained heavily last night, which meant bird activity was slightly low this morning, but that didn't stop us from exploring. We set off on a trail close to the camp and were rewarded with the sighting of a scarlet-backed flowerpecker, a jewel of a bird, tiny yet striking. I managed to capture a few clips and was lucky to get a lovely frame just as it flew and landed nearby on a beautiful perch. After the sighting, we headed further out for a trail walk, hoping the rising sun would stir more activity. The trail wound its way through moist forest patches, gradually opening into lush tea gardens, their fresh leaves glowing under the overcast sky. We continued walking through the serene tea gardens, scanning the treetops and underbush for birds. Each step felt like we were walking deeper into the rhythm of the forest. The ground was soft, soaked by the night's rain, and the air was filled with earthly scent of monsoon-soaked soil. As we moved along, we caught quick glimpses of the streaked spider hunter mobbing an Asian barred owlet. The owlet was perched very high, so we couldn't get a clear shot. Even though sightings were few, this walk was rewarding in its own quiet way. It reminded us that birding isn't always about constant action. Sometimes it's about soaking in the forest, one slow step at a time. At a distance, we noticed a bit of commotion in the canopy. A group of drongos were mobbing something, and soon we spotted it. Another Asian barred owlet, still looking quite sleepy in the morning light, possibly disturbed from its roost. It flew to a nearby perch and sat there calmly, giving us a great photo opportunity. A lucky sighting for sure. With 3 amazing birds already and some great images in hand, we've wrapped up the walk and made our way back to the camp. It was great to have conversations with fellow birders. These conversations, often sprinkled with bird facts and field stories, are half the fun of birding trips. Post-breakfast, we headed deep into the forest towards a bird hide. Our trail into the forest was short, just about 30 minutes, but it felt like entering a different world. The path was narrow and peaceful, surrounded by thick greenery, the kind that makes you slow down and soak it all in. Along the way, we came across a massive banyan tree. What made it special was this red cloth tied around its trunk. Our guide told us that the villagers come here and pray to the tree, asking it to protect them and keep elephants away. It's such a beautiful mix of nature, culture, and respect for wildlife. The trail had few steep sections, so a good pair of trekking shoes really helps. The forest floor was damp and in places a bit slippery. We didn't see many leeches, maybe just 1 or 2 in the entire trip. But if you're not a big fan of creepy crawlers, carrying leech socks might be a good idea. This forest is part of an elephant corridor, so staying quiet is super important. not just for safety but also to feel truly connected with the place. After about 30 minutes of walking through the forest, we finally arrived at the bird hide. Tucked away beside a gently flowing stream, it felt like a hidden corner of paradise. The hide is simple, built using natural materials like bamboo, logs, and dry leaves. It blends beautifully with the forest so birds feel safe enough to come close. From inside, we had a perfect view of the stream. Crystal clear water trickling over smooth stones. This is where the magic happens. Birds come here to drink, to bathe, and sometimes just to perch for a while. The bird activity began slowly, and the first to arrive was the Rufous-bellied Niltava. This vibrant little bird with its rich rufous underparts and deep blue upper body looked absolutely radiant in the soft forest light. I was lucky to get a few beautiful frames of it. Next came the black-crested bulbul, bright yellow body with a striking black head and that spiky little crest that gives it so much character. These birds are pretty bold and often quite vocal. And as we watched, one of them stood guard, making sure the coast was clear before taking a quick dip in the stream. Then came one of our favorites, the snowy-browed flycatcher. With its deep blue upper parts and that distinct white brow, it looks like a tiny forest king. The next visitor was the pygmy blue flycatcher, a tiny but vibrant bird. The male has a rich blue head and upper parts, with warm rufous underparts. It's a quiet, secretive species that prefers dense undergrowth, often staying close to the ground. Spotting one this clearly was a real treat.
আমার টেসিয়া ক্যাম্পৰ এলিফেণ্ট গাইড নামটো খুৰা
নামটো মোৰ বাবুল বৰুৱা মই এলিফেণ্ট গাইড কৰি থাকোঁ আগত আমাৰ গেছ থাকে যাতে গেছৰ কোনো অপকাৰ নহয় তাৰ কাৰণে মই গাইড কৰি থাকোঁ
আপোনাৰ হাতীৰ লগত কিমান বছৰ
হাতীৰ লগত মই আগৰ হাতী মহলত হাতী ধৰা মানুহ এতিয়া বৰ্তমান হাতী মহল নাই বন্ধ হৈ গ'ল আজি যোৱা বছৰৰ পৰা মই এই NGO পাৰ্টিৰ লগতে হাতী গাইড কৰি থাকোঁ গেছৰ
At the hide, we also got brief glimpses of few more forest birds. Abbott's babbler, blue whistling thrush, blue-winged siva, lesser shortwing, and Nepal fulvetta. They didn't hang around for too long. If you'd like to see more of these birds and many other wildlife moments, do check out my Instagram page. The link is mentioned below. I regularly post beautiful birds and glimpses from the wild. Would love to have you there. Then came the white-tailed robin, a quiet and elegant visitor. The male has deep blue-black plumage with a bold flash of white in the tail that stands out when it flicks or flies. These robins usually stay low in the forest. Watching one this close by the stream was a real privilege. The small Niltava came in without a sound, no fuss, no flutter, just a graceful arrival. It perched briefly near the stream, scanned its surrounding, and then quietly stepped in for a quick dip. Its deep blue plumage looked stunning in the low forest light, a beautiful contrast against the green moss and clear water. The Black-backed Forktail visited again today, gracefully hopping down to the stream. This bird was one of our key targets for this trip, along with the stunning white-crowned forktail. While the white-crowned didn't show up today like it did yesterday, this gorgeous forktail more than made up for it. It moved slowly and deliberately, foraging under dry leaves and near waterlogged roots, scanning for tiny insects. What made this moment truly special was how long it stayed. This folktale, along with the white crown, was a major motivation for us to visit Tesia Camp. If you haven't seen the white crown folktale yet, make sure to check out the previous episode of this vlog. We were lucky to get great views of it then. That episode also has more beautiful birds as well as helpful details on how to reach Tesia Camp if you're planning a trip. As we sat quietly at the hide, Diori, our young naturalist, found something incredible: the Indian Oakleaf Butterfly. At first glance, it looked just like a dry leaf lying still, but the moment it opened its wings, it transformed. Brilliant shades of blue and orange flashed out, completely unexpected. This butterfly is a master of camouflage. Its closed wings mimic a dead leaf so perfectly that predators often miss it entirely. It's also our national butterfly. Just when we thought it couldn't get better, the Black-backed Forktail made its way back to the stream again. And this time it stayed even longer. Getting such a prolonged view of this shy, solitary stream dweller was nothing short of a dream come true. These are the rare moments that birders cherish, the ones that make the hours of silence and patience in the hide feel completely worth it. This encounter will stay etched in our memory, the kind of moment we hoped for when we set out for Tesia Camp. The pale blue flycatcher returned for another bath. Next, we had a very lively visitor, the white-throated Fantail, an active insect-eating bird of forest edges and undergrowth, known for its restless energy and iconic fan-shaped tail that it often flashes while foraging. This bird doesn't sit still for even a second, and that tail, it would open it up into a perfect little fan every few seconds, almost like it was putting on a show just for us. That's where it gets its name, Fantail. Even though it never perched on the nearby branches, it stayed in the water for quite a while, moving quickly through the shallow stream. Every move was fast but graceful. Its striking white throat, dark face, and long black tail with neat white edges made it stand out beautifully against the forest floor and flowing water. The Slaty-bellied and the grey-bellied Tesia paid a brief visit. Looked like they were in a hurry. I managed to capture a few frames of these Tesias. Let me know in the comments which bird you liked the most. The last bird to visit the hide for the day was the small Niltava. It came in quietly just as the light was starting to fade. As daylight faded, Arpan reminded us it was time to head back. The forest had grown quiet and darker too. We walked carefully, maintaining absolute silence. We got a little delayed at the hide. It's already dark. A lot of elephant movement here. Just trying to get out of the forest really quick. The canopy blocked most of the evening light, and this is elephant territory. So we moved carefully and quietly through the darkening forest. But once we stepped out into clear patch of the forest, the last light of the evening greeted us like an old friend. That's how dense the forest is. Light barely penetrates through the forest. We reached the camp with big smiles and a sense of relief. Another day of adventure wrapped in forest magic. After dinner, we ventured out once more, this time in search of some nocturnal birds. Luck was on our side. We spotted an oriental scops owl and a brown bubuk. A big thanks to Arpan for spotting this bird in absolute darkness. The next morning, after breakfast, it was time to say goodbye. Huge thanks to Arpan, Kallol, Deori and Barwada for the incredible hospitality and care. Thank you so much. Kallol bhai, thank you so much.
Thank you.
बहुत मजा आया. दादा, thank you so much. हमारी देखभाल करने के लिए. हम जब फोटो खींचते हैं, ये हाथियों पर नजर रखते हैं. कुछ एलिफेंट ना आ जाए कैंप के आसपास. Thank you so much. Tesia Camp gave us unforgettable memories of birds, forests, people, and moments that stay with us long after the journey ends. Until next time, this is Wildlife Maverick signing off. See you, bye.